The following is a production of HISD TV.
Hello and welcome to HISD Up Close. I'm HISD Board President Michael Lunceford. Coming up on today's show, I'll take you on a tour of the new Horn Academy, one of over a dozen state-of-the-art campuses built under the district's bond construction campaign. Then my fellow trustee, Larry Marshall, will stop by to talk about some of the exciting things happening in District 9. And finally, HISD students interested in the oil and gas industry are getting some real hands-on experience. Next on HISD Up Close. And it begins right now. In 2007, Houston voters passed an $805 million bond referendum to replace dozens of aging and outdated schools and to upgrade and renovate others throughout the district. Over the past year, HISD has opened 15 new campuses, including Horn Elementary. Recently, I stopped by the school for a tour. Let's take a look. I'm standing here with Sarah Harrington. She's the principal here at Paul Horn Academy. And I'm just amazed at this new library. It's so much better than the last one. What great things are going on here?
I think that my favorite thing is the space, Mike. We have a music room, we have a place for PE, we have a tutorial room, we have room for parent volunteers, we have a PTO community room where we have scout meetings and PTO board meetings. The space is fabulous. Next favorite thing would be the technology. We have smart boards in every classroom, whereas we had one in the old building. The library is 3 times as big as the old building. We had double classrooms for space in the old building.
This building is more secure than the previous building because all the doors opened out to the great outdoors. How does it work now?
Now we have locked doors everywhere and a beautiful foyer, and community and parents have to come into the foyer and then go through the process and get a badge and then be admitted to the building.
I know that you had the opportunity to work with the architect early on in the design of the building. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about how you involved the teachers in that planning process.
As soon as we knew that we had bond money available for construction, we started planning with the teachers. I did a teacher survey and found out what their priorities were for instruction. And the number 1 priority was the largest classroom space available. The second priority was a big walk-in closet in every classroom, which most schools do not have. And the third thing were as many windows as possible, because windows are very expensive, I found out, in building the new building, windows and doors. So
you have a lot of natural light coming in.
Natural light, yes.
When you moved from the old school to the new, did you retain anything that was at the old school to carry forth?
My favorite thing was the covered play area, which was constructed by the PTO. You know all about this, Mike. You helped design it because you were the engineer on the project, and the PTO raised funds for several years to pay for the structure. And it was such a wonderful structure. We saved it and kept it, brought it with us.
That's
so
great.
Thank you.
My pleasure. I'm here with Meredith Smith. She's Senior Project Manager for HISD bond issues, and I've worked with her in several schools. She's actually, for those of you who don't know her, she's the one who single-handedly got the Hattie Mae White building done. She also worked on Pershing with me. She was in charge of what other schools? You have numerous schools that you've worked on.
Many schools, yes. In this neighborhood, right. Herod and Lovett. Close, nearby neighbors.
And she was the project manager over Horn. Do you want to tell us a little bit about it?
What is very special about this school and the design process is how much care was taken to make the school fit into its neighborhood. Some of the things that they did was not put a noisy cooling tower in somebody's backyard. We actually put the mechanical system up on the roof.
I know that HISD has varying footprints for their schools, and when we're remodeling and building new schools, replacement schools, you have to deal with that same footprint. How does that compare to, say, our suburban schools?
Here, we had to be very close to neighbors, sometimes 100 feet or less from the surrounding houses. Just want to use the land very efficiently.
The hallways are nice, open, well lit.
One part of this design is the simplicity of it. And this long two-story design, children are never lost in this school. They know exactly where they are. And it's basically a T-shape with the classroom two-story, and then off of this, the library and the multi-purpose room.
Maybe you can tell us a little more about how the design of the building met LEED standard and the energy conservation that goes on here.
We looked at all different aspects of the building. Energy efficiency is very important. This building reduces the potential use of energy by almost 25% compared to a school that wasn't built to LEED standards. That's from the design of the windows. They're dual pane, very efficient glass, the reflective roof system that we have, the air conditioning unit, which is a packaged unit, very efficient. Even the orientation, here we have the east-west long axis, which is to make use of daylight. Light fixtures use a lot of energy in a building. These are very efficient light fixtures.
I know when I walked in the door, the grounds were a lot different than what you'd expect at most schools. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about that and why it's there.
What you saw in the front is a bioswale. It has a purpose of gathering water when it rains very hard, holding that water very temporarily so it doesn't overflow the city system, and filters the water through special fabric and organic materials so that the water doesn't end up cloudy and silty going into Clear Lake. So it's all a part of controlling that.
Joining me now to talk more about the HISD bond program is Dan Bankhead from the HISD Construction and Facilities Services Department. Dan, I appreciate you coming today, and maybe you can tell us a little bit more. We visited Horn. Maybe you can tell us some of the other schools that are being built as part of the bond program.
Oh, well, we're building quite a few facilities, new facilities across the district. You know, back in 2007, we promised the voters we'd build 25 new schools, and we've completed several of them. For instance, just this beginning of the school year, in addition to Horn, we also opened 5 other new schools. Since that time, we've opened 7, I believe it is, other schools since that. Lewis Elementary, Belford Early Childhood Academy, Deonda Elementary. Just recently, during the holiday break, we did Cunningham, Roosevelt, and Kennedy just opened just a week ago. So,
and I believe Peck opened in Thanksgiving.
It sure did. Peck sure did open in Thanksgiving. They just had their dedication ceremony, a really nice ceremony and everything. So everybody's been really excited about the new facilities that have come online.
So how many more schools are planned to come on as part of the bond program? How many new schools?
Well, this year we have at least 3 new, I'm trying to go from memory, but there are at least 3 new schools. Carnegie Vanguard High School will be opening up at the beginning of the school year. We also have Atherton is under construction. And we also have Neff White is under construction. And Neff White will also be open for the new school year, or just shortly after the new school year.
I know that Peck was a combination of 2 schools, and Peck and Neff White is a combination, so to merge the population with the new school. Exactly. We've done that several times.
We have. We had several consolidations. Those have gone well. We took, older facilities. Sometimes they had low enrollment, or the facilities were well past their serviceable life, if I can use that term, and been able to create new facilities that have really been nice. They've also brought some new communities together.
In addition to the new schools, I know we're doing renovations at quite a few schools. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about how that's going.
Well, we actually have over 50 renovations under construction right now, with about 22 of those should be completed later this quarter. Overall, in the program, we have about 140 renovation projects. Those are going to be extending well into the year 2014.
Dan, can you tell us a little bit about how HISD goes about building a new school?
Well, I'll tell you how we do it. It's a long process in many ways. We select an architectural engineering team. to do the project. But one of the key parts of the process is we involve the community. We involve the principal and his or her staff. We involve members of the community through what we call our project advisory teams. And those teams meet monthly throughout the design process. And so they get to talk with the architect, they get to talk with our staff and our team to provide input. They're valuable, actually invaluable resource to us in terms of getting a school facility, a campus that is tailored to that community, that meets the needs of that community and that school campus, the curriculum and the programs they have at that school.
Thank you. I know that makes HISD a little different because the layout of a school has to differ because you're putting them in neighborhoods that are already established, whereas if you're a suburban neighborhood and you're building new schools, you say how much acreage do I need and I can set the same school. So that's why I find it fascinating that we've made unique schools to fit the neighborhoods.
We do, and you know, it also has to do with our programs. We have such different programs at HISD. We offer a wide variety of resources to our students and opportunities to our students. And as well, when you make a facility, a campus, a building that's a part of the community, that reflects the community that the community's been a part of, they own it, they take care of it. They help us in terms of reducing vandalism cost and theft and all those kind of things, and they see us, like I say, as a good neighbor. So that all those reasons we try to make it part of make them part of the process.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to be here today.
Oh, appreciate it. Glad to be here.
Thank you.
Okay.
Every month, I'll be taking you on a tour of another HISD school built under the bond program. That way you can see how your tax dollars are being put to good use. Next month, I'll be visiting Peck Elementary, so be sure to join me. Coming up next, he's been on the HISD board for over a decade, and before that he was an HIS teacher, principal, and deputy superintendent. I'm talking about HISD trustee Larry Marshall, and he joins me next to share some of the good things happening in his school district.